Yo, what's up, guys? This is Determined Trader, and today's another day, beautiful Monday, and there was a few setups that did take place, kind of, that were looking uh, like a good setup, but I never got my entry, and so I wanted to go over that. And so this is for ES charts. You can get. I'll start with the higher time frame. So initially at 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m., there was red news, and I would have loved to have seen that go above this and create a setup, but that didn't happen. It went straight down, and then at 9:30 stock market open, that continued to go down. We had a fair value gap here that took place, and it pretty much completely just went right through the level. And if we go to the 60-minute, you can see there is a nice fair value gap in here. Now, you'll notice that I actually drew it here instead of going all the way up here. The reason why is because by the time the fair value gap gets filled up in here, this is already 50% of the fair value gap. Remember that you can split a fair value gap into 4 quadrants. And so when that happens, because that's already been filled, I just go ahead and move it down to what hasn't been filled so far. And you can see there's stops right there. And so that's exactly where ES happened to go to. Took out stops, fair value gap. So that's a very good indication. Plus, we're below midnight. So that means bullish. And I was looking to buy. And so let me expand my 5-minute chart here. This is where I was looking at. You can see here we got we took out this low here, lower low, higher. This is a high, higher high, and this is where I was looking to see a retracement into this fair value gap in here on the 5-minute. And unfortunately, we did not get that. It just continued higher into this area here, this gap, and this would have been a perfect area to take profit if this would have been here, gone in here, and then traded up there. By the way, for those of you that are been looking into turtle soup or been looking into that, this is actually a good area for that, where you could have bought and taken it up there. Now I take a more conservative approach, as the turtle soup is a little bit more aggressive, and probably a little bit more confidence, especially just because you're going against the trend, against the grain, more or less. Especially because last week on Friday we traded lower, and from my experience, and obviously this is just my own experience, every time we close on a Friday, whether it's going higher or going lower, the market on Mondays usually continues its same momentum, and you can see it did that here. And sometimes it doesn't even give you a chance. It just doesn't give a buying opportunity, and this is why I was a little bit way more conservative in here, where I waited for this low to be broken and then the higher high here. Either way, I still wouldn't have done it, but I'm just letting you guys know, if you do, just something to watch out for. You just got to be comfortable and play the probabilities, because at the end of the day, as how ICT mentions, you're going to take losses. It's part of this, right? It just depends on what it is that you're willing to risk. Okay, so make sure you have your rules placed in place. And this was part of my rules here, where I would have waited for this area in here to get filled. I would have bought right here and ridden it all the way up to this fair value gap. This gap right here, this new week opening gap area is located, which is just right above this midnight, and that would have been perfect, right? So there you go. So that's that for ES. So trying to move a little bit quick here. For PM session, I didn't really see anything here. It definitely hit the midnight, did not struggle to get below this. It created these double bottoms, so most likely we'll see a retracement down here to take these out. Probably go a little bit higher, but we'll see from that. I don't trade Asia session or London session, so I'll be back in New York. And then for New York session, this wasn't really a trade here, but just something I've been watching. And you can see here, the only thing is that we're above midnight, and so part of my rule is just to be able to get in and for me to feel comfortable, even though this trade is not really part of my trades, but it still happened, and just something I'm watching for. So you can see this fair value gap in here held very nicely on the 15-minute. It didn't even go at 50%. It barely even hit it. Closed above the fair value gap, went up, and it continued higher. And on the 5-minute, you can see that very clearly. We had a fair value gap here. That would be a buy. Beautiful trade there. This is during lunch session too. So Forex hasn't been very good. You can see here during the news, I really thought we were going to get this trade setup where this was during 8:30 red news, and the market went up. We took out this buy stops here, buy side liquidity, went up, came back down, and I thought we were going to get a setup in here where it was going to take out this low, and then we would have a fair value gap to sell. You can see I had a volume imbalance here already, ready to go, but then it just started going sideways, and after 10 a.m. It finally gave up the juice, but by then I'm not really interested in it anymore. You can see it went down to this fair value gap. That's definitely what I would have targeted to the downside, but that didn't happen. Pound dollar, I don't see anything on that. It just continued higher, the opposite of what euro did. So that was interesting to watch. Another one that I saw, I believe was yeah, it was NQ over here, the Nasdaq. And so let me go ahead and pull that chart up right now. So let's go ahead and do this. So for Nasdaq, there was a 60-minute, there was two 60-minute fair value gaps, and you can see in here, the market went, it went here, dug all the way down into this fair value gap, a reclaimed fair value gap, by the way. And you can see this one, I drew it up here. I drew it right here because this was, I saw it as a reclaimed fair value gap. Plus, it also went down into this fair value gap, and this was the one that's most, that sticks out in my eyes, especially because at the 11 a.m. time, that's when this candle here closed, right? That's when this candle here closed. Right here, you can see it did go down, reclaimed it, went right back up, and it respected this fair value gap here, this top one. And you look at how the candles closed above, and that's something that ICT talks about all the time. Look at the bodies of the candles, how they close and how they respect the fair value gap, right? Wicks do the damage, bodies tell the story, and that's something to keep in mind. If we go to the 15-minute and drop there, not really much to look at. But around the 11 a.m. time is when I was looking at it. On the 5-minute, I saw it. You see, I wish there would have been a higher high here, but this wasn't an actual higher high. If not, this would have been a pretty good opportunity to get into, but I didn't do anything. However, on the 2-minute, as I went down on that, there is something that I've been watching, and like I said, this is another trade setup that I'm getting ready to start trading it. And so the trade setup is simple, is you wait for the order block to hold one time. So this would be the move that goes down, creates the order block here. Once we move up, this is order block, boom, right there. So that's it, held one time, goes straight, shoots straight up, and it comes right back into either fair value gap or order block right in here. Now obviously in this case it did not come down all the way to the order block. It just went to the first fair value gap, so that is a risk you'll have to take. Where if are you comfortable with buying it here and then placing your stop below here, and if it comes down, will you buy maybe another half of that position, right, to fill in to get a full position? And then once again your stop has to be below here, and then obviously your target, the double tops up here, very beautiful double tops. So that's really what I was looking at. But like I said, I still don't trade this exact setup here. However, this is not a 2022 model. This is in the core content that ICT has. There's about 12 different core contents, and in one of those is where ICT talks about this particular setup. Now, he talks about it very brief, and his way is very aggressive. I find this to be a conservative approach. I think that's just my opinion. He might just do the same thing as I do, but like I said, this is just my conservative approach, where I would like to see a fair value gap or an order block hold, and then I would count that as one time, and then on the second time is where I would take the trade. And and that's pretty much it. So this is what like I said, this is what something that I've been watching, and I've been seeing the consistency on this has been pretty amazing, especially after once again, this is the 10 a.m. time. This is pretty much the silver bullet trade, and that's really what what I've noticed has been really good. I don't mind trading the 8:30 a.m. time if there's red news. Like I said, I was very ready to trade euro dollar if it would have given me that that particular setup, but it never really gave a fair value gap. But anyways, you can see here, you guys can watch out for this. First you need an order block to hold. That counts as number one here, this retracement. And then we got to push up. There's got to be a fair value gap, or the market can go down into this order block again, the very top of that wick. Anywhere between here and here would be your entry right there. And you there's the buy. So anyways, but yeah, this one used the fair value gap very nicely, continued higher, took out these double tops, and that's all she wrote. And once again, right, we're very nicely below midnight, so that's another indication, right? And then with the silver bullet. So yeah, anyways guys, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys are benefiting from these videos. I know it's obviously not live. I know ICT has talked about it, where if you're learning from someone that's not live, or yada yada, then you probably shouldn't be learning, or whatever the case may be. The way I see it is, if you can see what I'm seeing right now and the way I'm explaining it, and you're getting you're benefiting from it, then I think that would be very useful, especially because my way of trading is ICT 2022 mentorship model. I know he's taught so much more with new week opening gaps, a bunch of stuff. Like, I have them here on my charts, and then I have these horizontal lines, which are pretty much just time zones, or not time zones. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, they are based on time. Just as you could say, I think these are pretty much my training wheels, so to speak. Yeah, so that's why I have them. But anyways, like I said, this is still, in my opinion, it's still proof of concept, because if you're someone new that has been looking into doing this, and you've been on the sidelines, or maybe you've already started, maybe you're 3 months, 6 months, maybe even a year into it, and you still haven't really found that consistency, hopefully these videos will help you in getting your mind to start seeing it more and more. And if you saw it, and I'm showing you what it is that I'm showing and what I'm seeing, hopefully that triggers your mind to be like, oh, okay, like, boom, that makes a lot of sense, and my analysis was correct, right? So it's just more of a validation, if anything, especially because with trading, because it's a very lonely business. And I understand we have ICT, I get it, he's there telling us that this stuff really works, and it does. But the only thing is that to have someone every day, I'm obviously not guiding you live on during live market action, but to be able to show you what happens afterwards, or you give you my scope of view, if it aligns with you, with the 22 mentorship model, with the silver bullet model, all that good stuff, then you're definitely in the right hands. And hopefully these videos are gonna help you. Now, and also, by the way, another reason I do it is because I really don't want you to rely on this. Right? Eventually, you're gonna have to do this on your own. And I think at the end of the day, that's really what matters. For you to see what I'm seeing, if it matches, then you're on the right track. And then for you to see it by yourself the next day, once market is live again, then that's another thing. And so, just keep doing it, keep grinding, keep studying, take pictures, take screenshots, take a lot of notes. You're gonna need it, because it's needed. It's needed to be able to do this correctly. You need to take a lot of notes, and you need to train your brain to see this stuff every single day, right? And then once you see it, it'll eventually click, man. And that's the thing, it'll eventually click, and you're gonna feel so much better knowing that, you know, like I said, let's say you saw my video and you're like, oh man, like that's exactly what I did, or that's exactly aligned with what I was doing. And so you know, that's gonna build you up, and it's gonna give you, like I said, that validation, even if you don't really need it, but you just want to know, right? You're curious to know whether or not you saw the same thing. And like I said, right, this is just the 22 mentorship model. I know there's other ways to trade using ICT Concepts, but you know, if you're into the 2022 model, then like I said, then we're all in this together. So anyways, without further ado, I'll leave you guys to it. Hopefully tomorrow is a brand new day. Tomorrow is Tuesday, and we do have red news out of Canada. There's the CPI news from Canada. I'm not really worried about it. For US, it will get ES to move though, so that's good. And then we also have core retail styles, that's for US, and we also have some orange 7 a.m. news. So hopefully we get some nice opportunities there to trade. Anyways, peace out.